There are two types of people in this world. One who has 100 rupees in his pocket but acts like they have 10,000. And another one who actually has 10,000 but he would act like he has 100 rupees. There is a famous quote: "You act rich, I act poor. We both are like." I still remember I was in college and there was this guy. Let's call him Grey. Like Grey from 50 Shades of Grey. Good looking, amazing physique, and obsessed with psychology. And despite having a genuinely interesting life, he never posted anything. No Instagram stories, no WhatsApp statuses, nothing. Meanwhile, other people around us would post every meal, every achievement, every outing. So one day I got curious and I went to him. I asked, "Bro, you have such an interesting life. Why don't you post anything?" At that moment, he looked at me and he said, "Brother, I don't crave validation. I genuinely don't care what other people think of me." And that answer stayed with me. Now, I was raised to be a fairly private person as well. That means no one would know my income, my business, my achievements. Not because I was hiding it, but I did not feel the need to advertise it. And there was a phase when I got involved in social work. And what I saw was that almost everyone around me was posting pictures and selfies. And it made no sense to me because if I'm getting fulfillment from the work itself, why do I need proof? And that's when I slowly started understanding. If you've got 100 rupees with you, move like you've got 10 rupees. That's not humility, that's freedom. Because when you stop broadcasting yourself, you stop attracting people for the wrong reasons. For example, I recently joined a diploma program. Now, most of the students there are in their early 20s. I go there in my car, I drive, but I make sure to park the car far away. Not because I'm ashamed of it, but I don't want people to perceive me based on the car. I want people to know me before knowing what I own. Now, all of this sounds amazing, right? Higher intelligence, better pattern recognition, less validation seeking, earlier success. But here's a dark side that no one talks about. A powerful brain rarely comes with an off switch. That means rumination, overthinking, anxiety, you name it. A 2018 Mensa member study found out that people with higher intelligence are also linked with mood and anxiety related issues. And that does not surprise me, to be honest, because I had to create a personal rule for myself. That is, I get to decide how much bandwidth does a person get from me. Because without that, my brain would happily spend hours dissecting and analyzing conversations, behavior patterns, and future possibilities. And it worked quite well for me until relationships entered the picture. Because romantic relationships increase the stakes, especially if you're new to it. And suddenly your attachment style shows up, your insecurities show up, your fears show up. And in my case, I was dating someone who had an extremely dismissive, avoidant attachment style. Someone who wanted closeness but got overwhelmed when closeness arrived. Who wanted intimacy but got afraid when intimacy arrived. And at first, my brain went into overdrive. Like, what was I doing wrong? Could I have done something else? Could I have said something differently? Classic overthinking, you know? But then my greatest strength kicked in: pattern recognition. I reached out to Gray, yes, that friend from college. And with his help, I realized something important. What I was experiencing was not random. It was a very predictable pattern. It was a documented pattern. And once I understood that, I stopped taking all of it personally. I realized it was not a reflection of my self worth, it was the reflection of someone else's unresolved traumas. That realization felt like a software update, and suddenly things started to make sense. And ever since, my ability to read patterns in relationships has gotten stronger. It's a blessing, but also a curse. Blessing because I tend to notice patterns quickly, based on actions, consistency. But it can be a curse sometimes because I try to look at patterns way too quickly before the real data can arrive. One delayed text, one change in behavior, and my mind is trying to detect a pattern. It doesn't work like that because pattern means repeated set of data, not a single data point. So my brain gets anxious sometimes, and anxiousness dressed up as a protective mechanism. But that's when I figured something out. The solution to that was not to stop thinking, it was to give my brain, my mind, something more important to focus on. Call it a mission, a purpose, or a skill. Because when you are genuinely building something in your life, people become a part of it, not the center of it. And suddenly, the chat that you have been analyzing for 45 minutes doesn't seem that important anymore. Your life keeps moving, your purpose keeps moving, and your mind finally has something productive to focus on. And maybe that's the real habit intelligent people need to build. Not to avoid having a smart brain, but to know where to channel it and where not to use it.